Word nerds, visualize your vocabulary. Make a picture of it. It'll last longer. Alright, today we're gonna do another 10 words. Our first word is redolent. Now, redolent is an adjective, and this just basically means it's fragrant. When something's redolent, that just basically means it has a pretty big fragrance. And when something has a pretty big fragrance, it just means it has a pretty big smell. Usually a very good smell, too. Now, redolent here just means pretty well. It just means to have a really good smell. And here you remember it with red lint. Red lint. That's how you remember it. Now, your father decided to go ahead and do your grandpa decided to do the grandma's chores on Mother's Day. And then he went ahead and, well, he was told to check all the pockets before he put them in the washing machine. And he was like, and she was, a few hours later, she got him in there, and she was like, alright, what's this? With a pretty big empty cherry lipstick thing. And he's like, red, lint? Alright, fine, I probably forgot to check the pockets, didn't I? On to the next word. Our next word is pernicious. Pernicious is an adjective, and this just basically means to be, how should we say this? Very baleful. To be very, a lot to carry on, a lot to use, shall we say. Now, of course, you remember pernicious with fur fishes, apparently. And fish, by the way, fur fishes do not exist in real life. They're just fake ones that we're going to use inside here. Now, you added a fur fish to your fish collection. However, you realize this fish is a cannibal. It eats other fishes. It doesn't eat anything else but fish. It goes ahead and eats all the fishes except for the ones that has fur on them, which is its only one. And then it even manages to somehow break the glass. You come home with a very soaked rug and, of course, a bunch of dead fish, except for the fur fish, who unfortunately is apparently an amphibian. Alright, our next word is dubious. Now, dubious is an adjective, and this just basically means to go ahead and start becoming doubtful. Like, to be a little iffy towards something. Now, when you're dubious towards something, you're like a little iffy. Now, you see a bunch of booby smoke over there inside the van, and then you just decide to go ahead with a bunch of hipsters saying, inviting you on. However, you decide to just go ahead and get in, and the devil says, come on, just enjoy yourself right there. It's not like you have much life to enjoy yourself. However, the angel comes and says, get off there, you idiot. You think this is useful in your life? And however, you just get off and hoping they don't ask any questions. Our next word is jeopardize. Jeopardize is a verb, and this just basically means to go ahead and to become a really big hazard. When you're jeopardizing someone's food issues, well, that you're jeopardizing that person's life and pleasantry and hateful of food. And with that, you get a bunch of hazards too. When you're jeopardizing your own health, so that's a different risk. It just basically means you basically make yourself a bit vulnerable to death. More vulnerable to death, shall we say. And remember this with leap or drive. Leap or drive, leap or drive, leap or drive. And you remember this with jeopardize. Jeopardize, jeopardize, jeopardize. Now, so you have this hand that has a leaper, and it gives you some dice. You realize you just jeopardize your entire life because it's deformed and probably contaminated. Our next word is apocryphal. Apocryphal, well, unfortunately, I misspelled it. It just means to be fake. When something's apocryphal, that thing's really fake. Like, you might think I'm faking my hungerness, but unfortunately, I'm craving kimchi bokkeumbap. Apocryphal. Now, of course, you can't do that to pawnbrokers because you'll see in the next part. Apocryphal. You remember this with a pocketful. So you have a pocketful of diamonds, which is pretty suspicious in the first place. You decide to go ahead and go pawn them. Now, the pawnbroker goes ahead, looks at the diamonds, and immediately goes ahead and doubts the legitimacy of the diamonds. Now, of course, then this would be like $100 in the pawn's eyes, and in this guy's eyes, it would be $1 million each. And of course, the pawnbroker doesn't have that much money. And that's about it. Our next word, where'd it go? Okay, our next word is gesticulate. Gesticulate just basically means to go ahead and you're gesturing towards something. Like when you're gesticulating to yourself, you're like, hey, look at me, hello, 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 look at me. Me. And with that, gesticulate, that just basically means you're going ahead and you're, well, pointing towards yourself, gesturing towards yourself. And this is a motion. Just stick and lick. I remember that word, just stick and lick. Hey, so they're gesticulating at the snake, are they? Let's check it. Boop, boop. Wait, it's just a stick. It's just a stick. Hey, it's a snake. It's just a stick. Our next word is insidious. Insidious. Insidious is an adjective, and this just basically means go ahead and become cunning. When you're the insidious man, insidious, well, you're going ahead and you're doing things too. Well, the city is rusting, so you need insidious man who will go ahead and save the day. Our next word is rudimentary. Now, rudimentary is an adjective, and this just basically means go ahead and go to the basic ones, the very simple ones. When you're the rudimentary person, that just basically means you're going ahead, when you're focusing on the rudimentaries, you're just basically going ahead and focusing on the basic ones. And with that, you have some rudimentary things to really talk about. Alright, here we go. And you remember rudimentary with rudiment tree. Now this tree is very rudimentary, and of course he's really rude and has very bad minty breath. And so you guys go ahead and bail him out. And he's like, wait a second, I'm just a rudimentary tree with good roots. Our next word is beset. Beset is a verb, and this just basically means to go ahead and annoy someone, to assail someone. Bees are sitting next to you, and they start annoying you by trying to sting you, and they also try to blow some very big, loud music that you really hate. And our last word of the day is sententious. Now, sententious here is an adjective, and this just basically means to go ahead and to be very expressive. When you're sententious, well, you're very expressive, probably sometimes a little too expressive in my opinion. And with that, we have sententious. Now, you have this grandpa who's really good at having very good expressions, and unfortunately, he's said a message called sententious because he can't eat stuff right now. On their 25th anniversary, no, on their 90th anniversary of marriage, so they're at least 110 years old, you and your parents go ahead and send your grandparents to go ahead at their favorite restaurant to eat. However, they told you to send their dentures because unfortunately they can't chew something, and they use some fancy words to explain that. And that's it for today. I hope to see you guys in the next episode, and so until then, Shannon out, peace, bye bye. Da 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 da.